Recording in progress. We're going. All right. So, hi guys, and I'm so happy you guys are here for our Girls Night webinar. And so, basically, Jessica and I are going to be breaking down everything that we do as coaches in case this is something that you're interested in doing or just interested in learning more about. Maybe you're just curious, maybe you're just nosy. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but we're always happy to share about our stories and really kind of what we do. And so, we're going to be keeping it surface level, but also so we don't overwhelm you or anything like that, but also kind of just breaking down our stories. And because every single coach is different, and it's really cool to be able to see other people's perspectives. Like literally there's so many different coaches you can think of. Whatever like full-time something you can think of, there's a coach who's doing it. So most coaches are part-time, but who also, and like Jessica will tell her story, going full-time and things like that. But anyways, enough about that. Let's go on. So first and foremost, let me tell you about me. So my name is Maddie. I live in Gilroy, California with my boyfriend and our two dogs. I personally got into the boot camps first. I would say that 90% of coaches don't get into coaching right away. I'd say 90% are customers who just fall in love with everything and then kind of, you know, naturally end up wanting to share it because like just like anything else that you love, you just want to share it. So I started off as a customer. My best friend from college, she started to run boot camps. I had no idea what it was. I had heard of 21 Day Fix, and I just wanted to support her. She was a full-time teacher, but trying to make ends meet with student debt and all these things. I'm like, I'll just support you, but also I'd always happy to get healthy because I have a long history of just having a hard time with my body image. I suffered from an eating disorder when I was in high school, and a lot of like cycles and really just unhealthy habits and drinking and partying and all the things. So I was always down. And at the time that she asked me, I was kind of starting to get back into a health journey anyways, because right after college, I went from partying, but still working out to working a desk job and all these things. And I really let my health go to the wayside, and I gained a lot of weight right out of college. So, but I was looking for something different, and I was looking to change my relationship with my body and change my relationship with my health and finally end the cycles, because I was that person who would go all in on something and then go like back and forth and all of the things. Um, so I just signed up on a whim. I didn't really ask very many questions, just kind of did it. But I was also very committed because I, had just like signed up with a challenge bag. I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to put all of it in it. And plus, I was there supporting my best friend. So, trying to be her best hype man. And in that process, I ended up having really great results, physically with 21 Day Fix and doing the nutrition plan and drinking Shakeology every day. And I felt great. And I won't lie, I did try to cancel everything after that because I was like, yeah, I just want to keep paying for this. I'm just done. But my coach was a really great coach, and she was my best friend. So she like was really honest with me. It's like, why would you stop something that you're doing so good at, or you're having so much success? So I ended up signing back up. And then when I signed up, I did sign up with a coach account. So that way I could get 25% off since I didn't want to spend like a ton of money. And she did tell me that I would be a great coach. And I was like, no, I'm okay. Because at the time I just felt like, I was scared of what people would think. I kind of assumed that it was for people who just needed money. And I work full time as an analyst for social services, and I make good income. I really didn't need an extra side hustle. It really was not like something I was ever interested in. So I was like, oh, that sounds like something for like, like stay at home moms or girls who need like extra funds or whatever, when technically we all could use extra funds. But I mean, I definitely could, but I was also like, oh, that sounds like more work than I want to do. I'm naturally a very lazy person. So I was like, don't really want to do more work. Anyways, that being said, I kept doing the boot camps, kept being her best person, like her best like challenger. I continue to get great results. But even more than that, it was something that I was finally not just like quitting on myself. I was making relationships with all these women in the boot camps. I felt amazing and I was finally in a healthy space with my body. And I still like, my body positivity journey is ever going, like it never stops. So I wouldn't say like in 3 months I was totally healed from all that, but I'm still, it's ever evolving. But long story short, she did start plugging me into the coach community since I had the coach account, and I started to really fall in love and hear, and just like this, hear other coaches' stories about what they were doing. And there was a lot of girls just like me who had full-time careers that made good money, but were just lacking passion in their life, and just like were so excited and happy. And I was in this community of coaches, and they were just so happy to be able to help other people. And background about me, like I went to school for psychology, always knew I wanted to help people in some sort of way. I thought I would go into counseling, but after college I knew that I just wanted a stable 9 to 5 where I could check in, check out. Because at the time I had a lot of anxiety. My dad was had stage 4 liver cancer, like terminal cancer, and I just didn't want to go to more school. I thought a 9 to 5 with no stress would make me happy. Well, it didn't. I was bored out of my mind, and I felt like something was missing. And I saw these women having the one thing that I knew I was lacking in my life, which was passion and purpose and goals beyond just like watching Real Housewives after work. So anyways, that's really what kind of made me want to. So like a whole year after just chilling in the boot camps, I finally decided to start coaching. And that's what really like leveled up my personal journey, but also gave me that passion and fulfillment. I, started connecting more with the other coaches and getting more involved with the community. And it was just, really an amazing experience from there. And pretty much haven't looked back since. So that's pretty much a little roundup on my story. And I will pass it on to Jessica.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, whole situation set up. Okay. Maddie, you did really great. Maddie and I both can like talk for like a really long time. That is not something that we are short on. And so I'm gonna try to do just as good of a job as Maddie did and not talk for forever. Um, but my name is Jessica. I am from Eastern North Carolina on the coast near the beach. And my story has lots of different parts as well, but mainly in 2018 I that's when I joined. Okay, so I joined September 2018. And before that, so I was a teacher for 6 years. I taught in the public school for 4 years, in the private school for 2 years. I have always known my whole life that one of my gifts is to be a teacher, and it's something that I love doing. Whenever I was in high school, I taught dance class. I taught at Vacation Bible School. I was our Vacation Bible School director. Anything with kids and teaching and whatever, I was there doing it. Cheerleading camp, you name it. So um my first year teaching, you go to school for all of this stuff and you're so excited and you're so passionate. And then my first year, no matter what anybody told me about like the salary and how hard it was and how much I would be working and all this kind of stuff, I was still determined and like it doesn't matter, like that's my purpose, that's what I'm going to be doing. And my first year teaching, I remember telling a friend not even 2 months into my first year teaching that I will not be teaching forever. And she looked at me, she was like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so we talked, and she, I thought about like the administrative type of job and different type of things. But what I understood while I was teaching, as much as I loved it, as much as I loved the students and everything else, I felt stuck in a system that I truly could not make a lasting impact and change, like beyond the year that I had them. And I know that sounds a little bit pessimistic, but I hoped and prayed that I was making a change in their life in some way, shape, or form. But I also just kind of felt this like hopelessness, like all of this work and all this time and like my health was taking back burner. I started, for the first time in my life, I had a panic attack in the middle of the day teaching one time, didn't even know what it was, had never heard of a panic attack at that point. I ended up getting put on anxiety medication, and I had to take Ambien to go to sleep every night. I would take one to put me to sleep and one to put me back to sleep when I would wake up in the middle of the night. And finally, I kind of like woke up and realized like I didn't want to live my life like that anymore. I felt very numb. I felt very just like autopilot. I had gained a ton of weight, and I was 24 and realized like that my health was declining very quickly. My doctor, I had a bunch of blood work done. I was told I had Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid autoimmune disease, and I told her that I did not have that, and I did not accept her answer, and that I wanted something else. And we went back and forth in her office for a while. With her, I was able to. She recommended a friend of hers that was is a dietitian, but specialized in food science. And so, with working with her, I was actually able to lose a lot of weight before I ever even joined Beachbody. And I tell you that because it's really important. I joined in 2018. I was 120 pounds, which is less than what I weigh now. I had moved to a private Christian school, where my workload and the stress was way less than it was in the public school system. And in my head, I thought, like, you should be happy. Like, you should be feeling this purpose. You should be feeling like, but it just felt like something was missing. And yes, I'm single. I'm a dog mom. It's not that I was missing like, oh, the family and all that kind of stuff next. It was just like a weird, like unsettling, like I knew there's something else, but I didn't know what it was. And I also in that year was involved with a guy that I definitely shouldn't have been involved with. He did not deserve my time of day whatsoever. But him and I were talking, and the only reason I was getting on Instagram was because I would go check his Instagram to see who he was talking to, what he was putting on his story, and who was liking his pictures, and doing things that was only like digging the hole deeper for myself mentally. And that was at the beginning of 2018. I connected with my coach. So my coach is the same coach that Maddie had, that was her friend in school. And her name is Kinsley. I connected with her on Instagram in I think it was March or May of 2018. She started talking to me, and the reason why she started talking to me is because I was reading the devotional 100 Days to Brave, and once in a while I would share a picture of the devotional on my Instagram story, and she noticed that, so she messaged me about it, and her and I talked. Well, then I checked out her profile and realized that she was a Beachbody coach. I had experience with Beachbody years and years and years ago when 21 Day Fix had come out on DVDs. I love 21 Day Fix. I did it like a zillion times over and over again. I did a little bit of the 21 Day Fix eating with the containers back then. And I had got set up with Strawberry Shakeology, absolutely hated it. Did not want it to drink it at all. Thought it was totally ridiculous. Didn't care how much anybody told me it was healthy for me, whatever. And I will say too, back then, one thing I love about Beachbody as a company is we are always evolving. We are always looking at the trends. We are always looking at what is happening. What is the future? Not right now. What is the future? And right now is the perfect time to be a coach because of all that's coming up. It is such a solid foundation to truly impact you and your health and your income if that's what you choose to do. But side note, anyways, back to what I was saying. Back then, the coach system and support was not the way that it is now. Social media was not used the way that it is now. There were not accountability groups. Some coaches higher up in the network ran Facebook groups, accountability groups, but the girl that was paired with me did not. I signed up on my own on the internet, I'm assuming. I don't even remember, y'all. But that being said, I saw Kinsley's stuff on her profile, and I saw some of the workouts she was doing, and I recognized Autumn. And it was when 80 Day at Session had come out, and Kinsley was talking about that program, and I recognized it, and I was like, oh, she's one of them coaches. And I was like, she's probably going to try to get me to join her team. And sure enough, lo and behold, because her and I were talking and we were connecting, and I really liked her, and we were having a good conversation. And then one day she like asked me, and I was like, I looked at her message, I was like, oh, and I stopped. I didn't respond. I ghosted her. I'm not even that person. Like, people who message me, y'all, that I don't even like and say like inappropriate things, I'm like, please don't send messages like that. Like, I don't even not respond to people unless they're like really toxic. But side note. So anyways, her and I were or she invited me and I ignored it. And but here's the thing that happened. Throughout a couple of months, it was like 5 months, right? May or March, whatever, until September. I was continuing to see this guy and continuing to go to Instagram to create his stuff, but I was also going for another reason now. I was going to watch her Instagram story, and I was going to read her Instagram posts. And I found myself like literally looking at her stuff every single day and saying to myself, there's no way someone can be this happy. Like, there's no way that this is real life. There is no way that that's her real life. But it was. She was not just sharing like the positive and the good stuff. She was sharing like things that she was actually going through, but like what she was doing to help herself and to be better and to be happy. And she was single and she had just left teaching, and I saw a lot of myself in her. And I would go every morning before I got out of bed and look at her Instagram story, and I would literally try to make myself happy by watching her stuff. I was borrowing her happiness. I was borrowing that. She invited me 4 other times and I ignored every single one of them until one day in September when um the guy that I was talking about had truly just like pushed me over the edge. And I got on Instagram and I didn't even go to his profile anymore. I like started just going to hers. I got on Instagram, I went to her profile, I looked at her stories, and in the middle of her stories, she was talking about how she was enrolling for her September accountability group. And I messaged her and said, "Do you have a spot for me? Like, do you have any room left?" And she was so excited, welcomed me with open arms. I started with 21 Day Fix because that was what I knew. Um, she got me set up with Shakeology, even though I told her I was not going to drink Shakeology. I had a bad experience with it. And she shared about her IBS issues, and I had IBS as well. And I was like, I'm willing to give it a chance again if you will help me figure out how to drink it. I got set up with a coach account because as a teacher, anything you do, you get the discount on. Like, you are dumb if you do not take advantage of that. That's part of one of the advantages of having a really small salary and working way overtime is getting discounts on anything. So I got set up with a discount account. And I told her right out the bat, I will never be a coach. I will never talk on social media. I will never post anything on social media. And I just want to do this for myself. And at the time, like I mentioned, I was in my head, I thought I was fat. I needed to tone up and lose weight, whatever. But it, I truly just joined to be surrounded by people who were like working on themselves and people who were happy and people who like didn't know me in my real life that I could like actually get to know and kind of like leave some of the old me behind and like be surrounded by new people who are doing things to work on themselves and just be happy. And what I found is that when I joined, instead of getting on Instagram every morning, what I started doing was I was part of Kinsley's group. So I literally got on our challenge tracker, like on our accountability group. I would get in the group and read the post for the day. And then I would literally read every person's like comments and their pictures and like see how all the amazing these women were. And I would comment on their stuff and I would like it. And it put me in such a good mood to start my day that my students noticed it. And I was happier overall. And of course, she reached out to me and told me, you would be a really great coach. Like, are you sure you don't? And I started sharing like clips of my workout here and there, mainly just because I was kind of proud of myself and I was just happier overall, and when you're happier overall in that way, you have a little bit more confidence. When you commit to a workout program, you build your confidence in yourself. And that's literally what I was doing all along. I just didn't realize it. But I would share a workout clip here or there, and I would have a friend reach out to me and ask. And so I would tell my coach, and my coach is like, no, I'm not enrolling them. You enroll them. And y'all, I need to insert disclaimer statement. Beachbody does not guarantee certain income, yada, yada, yada. Each coach is up to their own disclaimer right here. Okay. But moving from the public school system to the private school system, I took a $3,000 pay cut, and that's significant whenever you're making I took a $3,000 pay cut and my salary was $32,000 and working in private school. So I was tutoring 2 kids every week just to get extra cash on top of trying to live like literally check to check to check. And whenever she said, you can make like $50 if your friend joins and you get them set up with the challenge pack too. And I was like, $50? That's what I make a whole month tutoring one of these kids, like one friend. And like, I had people already reaching out to me when I would post my workout one random day out of nowhere, And so whenever she told me that, like the first person I did that. And then whenever I got that check, I was like so proud of myself that like I had done something like literally, it was like so easy in my head, like it was, again, this is work, but at the time getting into it, I didn't realize it was just like so simple that it happened that way. And So for me, obviously, I am all about helping women, and that is what I'm here for. But for me, at that season in my life, what got me involved in coaching was the fact that I saw potential in it changing my life income wise. As a teacher, you will never make above, it will take you years and years and years and years to ever truly have a salary increase, a pay scale increase, anything like that. And for me, especially growing up with my parents working so hard and working all the time as a kid, like I didn't really ever want that life, even though I wanted to be a teacher. And so after my second, so Maddie mentioned the full time thing. I ended up after a lot of praying, I ended up leaving the classroom last year. So I finished out the school year, and this was my first school year only working my coaching business. And it has been a great blessing. It has taught me a lot of things about myself. But this is what I would say about coaching. Um, it's not for everybody. It's not. You have to truly like want. It's not something that's like an instant success or overnight success. I don't believe in those things anymore. I used to think like that because you see things like that, but it's after having this experience, I know that those are not actually lasting successes. And when you're building a business, you want the foundation of your business to be solid, and you want it to be genuine and pure and true. And whenever you're focusing on helping other people, the rest kind of just comes and falls into place. And but as a coach, what has helped me and what I have found is that I've created this consistency in my life and who I am that I never would have created before. I have the option if I want to get another job. I have the option if I want to go add this into my business. I have the option with all these things. I've changed the way I view my body. I've changed the way that I live, and not just for me, but everybody that I impact, everybody that I touch social media wise or in our accountability groups. And it's the same thing with Maddie. So, with that being said,
Yay, I love it. I like how you touch on that. Yeah, coaching isn't necessarily easy, and it's not, it's not a good get quick rich scheme. And actually, just like in my workout today, Autumn, who's like a 9 week control freak, was like, she talks a lot in her program. She gives you like a lot of like good motivation, which I always love. But one of the things she mentioned was, if it's quick and easy, it's probably not going to be lasting. And she was talking about a workout, but you can really apply that to life. And that's really what I love about what we do as coaches, because honestly, there's a lot of choices out there in terms of side businesses that you can do, but there's nothing like Beachbody, because we are legitimately just giving people the tools to be healthy and tools in their life. And coaching really mirrors your coach business, really mirrors your like health and fitness too, which I always love. Like I feel like it's all interrelated so well.
yeah.
When it comes to your physical results, quick and easy isn't necessarily going to be lasting. Same thing with your coach business. And we'll go over a little bit more stuff, so I'll just get into it before I ramble on. Okay, so things that we are not necessarily experts in health and wellness. We are definitely not sales people. We don't need to know everything to get started. You don't have to have a degree in nutrition or a certification or anything like that. You don't have to have a perfect or a transformation already or a perfect fit body in order to do what we do. I mean, in fact, I just talked about like in my own journey, like starting from what I wanted in my health and fitness journey, which was, yes, to be my best version of myself and to be as healthy as I could be, but two, to gain a better relationship with my body and accept my body for what it is. And coaching has really given me to that. And that intention that I went into as a challenger has really been an intention with my coaching business as well, because I don't have a perfect washboard abs, and likely I never will, unless like I give up all the food I love, which I'm not willing to do. But I live a very healthy lifestyle, and I still have curves and dimples and things like that. And that's the reality of being a human. And we all have different bodies, and we're all going to look different. And, my body type is never going to be washboard or whatever. But I get the opportunity as a coach and in my own business and doing things how I want to do it, that like, that's not my business isn't about getting you a perfect body. It's about getting you healthy and having a healthy relationship with your body, which is really cool. And, giving you the tools to do that. Um, okay, let me go. And so what we are, whoopsies. No, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. So what we what we are and what we do. So we are not experts, but we do have tons of resources that can help you. So you're not an expert in like health and nutrition, but you do have resources to experts, and you do become basically an expert in what we have to offer. So I always tell coaches, like, I mean, and you're doing that on your way, right? Like you're choosing a program, you're following it to the best of your ability to get results, and then you just help other people do the same thing. You just share that with them. And so for me and my personal journey, I love trying, we are, like Jessica mentioned, they're literally always like transforming this business and giving us new workouts. Like, I'm like, how do they come up with more? But there's always something else to add. They add like running programs, bar, boxing, lifting, dance programs. And I get to try all those as my job and really commit to it, which is awesome for my own journey. It keeps me excited in like my own health and fitness. And then I get to share that with other people and be an expert in it in order to help other people do the same thing. And so we have tons of weekly trainings from like the company, from Beachbody, as well as like products. So even if you didn't have a community and team that you were part of, Beachbody already provides you so much training and so much resources. But on top of what the company provides you, you also get hooked up with a coach who's also a mentor. So, as a coach, Jessica and I are, mentoring people in their health and fitness, but we're also mentoring people in building their own business. So you don't go at it alone, whether you're just a customer or you're just a coach, or not just a coach, but either or. You'll have mentors and leadership. And I have mentors and people who help me, and like all of those resources are shared, and we are always happy to help you. And that's what's really cool about being part of a team. And I know for me, for a fact, I would have never done this if there wasn't a team, because I saw other women who were in so many different areas of their life, and I was like, wow, if she can do it, I can do it too. Or like, this looks different on everybody. Like, I can do it my own way. I don't have to do it like Susie or Sally. Like, I get to be me and do it my way, which was, like I mentioned, I was seriously lacking in my own, you know, professional life, was that I wasn't able to be creative and freedom and express myself. And so through coaching, through social media, and through my own like platform, and through my resources that I share, I get to be me. Anyways, so I'm gonna cut myself off. I'll keep going. So we are not salespeople. We are never selling. Like Jessica mentioned, like before she even became a coach, when she was still like, I'm not coaching, she was like just naturally sharing what she was doing because she was excited, she was happy, she was getting results. And just like I always explain it, like just like everyone talks about Peloton, they're not getting paid for that, but they love Peloton. They wear their shirts, they like, show on their stories what like things they're doing. They're connecting with other people who are doing it, and it's exciting. And that's exactly what we do as coaches. We're just loving the products, we're doing it. You only have to purchase and use what you love. Like, we have tons of products and programs. You don't have to do anything that you don't like. You just do what you like and share that with other people. And so you're never necessarily like selling anything. I mean, technically you are selling, like, because you get paid for it. You get a commission. Unlike, with Peloton, they just share. Like, technically you're sharing and selling and getting paid for it. And it's not icky, and you don't have to chase people down. You just do it in a natural way. And you don't need to know everything. Again, we have like endless amount of resources, and you learn as you go with anything you do in life. You never know everything from the beginning. You just get started to get going. And if you've done one program, 3-week, 21-day fix, boom, you have enough information to be able to share that with other people. And so, and then you don't need to have a degree or certification. So like I mentioned, you don't really have to have, you don't need any kind of certification. You're literally just a regular person. You might not be a girl, but whatever. You're just a regular person on their own journey, sharing that with other people. And yeah. So, and then as far as like having transformations, like, obviously people do like showing your own transformation, which you will have. If you are a coach, you will have some sort of transformation, whether that's physical, mental, or emotional. And Jessica's going to go through like what we do as coaches. If you do what we do as coaches, would like, basically take care of yourself, you're going to have some kind of transformation, and you share that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be your body. Although, I love to share my transformation. I'm always proud of my body. I'm proud of the work that I put in, and I normalize being proud of whatever work it is. And I'm also proud of like just showing the in-betweens and all of the different things. So you don't have to have a perfect fit body. There's plenty of coaches who go into this already fit with, who don't need a transformation, like Jessica, or other people who are already interested in the health and fitness business, are already doing their own thing, that don't necessarily have a physical transformation, but you always have some kind of mental, emotional ones, because when you take care of yourself, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so I am done with my little rant. Okay, and then I'm gonna send it over to Jessica, and she'll talk about some of our team goals.
Okay. I'm good. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, there was a question in the chat, so I was answering it on my phone. But so I pulled it up really quick just so I can read it. Beachbody was started in 1998 by Carl Deichler, and the whole purpose, the mission statement, is to help people achieve their goals and enjoy a healthy, fulfilling life. Not to make money, not to sell zillions of workout programs, not to literally to help people live a healthy and fulfilling life. We got to go, and COVID has ruined a lot of in-person events, which is really sucky, but we're hopefully on the right track and getting back to be able to do those things. But 2 years ago, I got to go to our first coach summit. Every year Beachbody puts on something called Annual Coach Summit. And what it is it's a huge, like when I say huge, y'all, like I literally could not comprehend the amount of people that were there. My first year, it was in Indianapolis, at the Colts Stadium, which was where most of the stuff that was going on, and it was a couple of days long. And anybody who's a coach, so like even if you don't have a team, if you're just literally enrolled as a coach, you get to go to this. And it's so many different events. We had a guest speaker. We had Rachel Hollis was the guest speaker. You get to do like in-person live workouts. Maddie and I got to do one together. And it was the first time it was the second time Maddie and I had seen Maddie. But it's just, it's an amazing thing. But anyways, on stage, Carl Deichler showed a video of him and Tony Horton whenever he took Tony Horton, his idea for Beachbody, for doing like a workout video on the beach, literally. And it was so amazing. But hearing the passion in him at the age that he was, how young he was very concerned and noticed the rise in obesity in the United States. And he was like genuinely passionate about helping that, doing something to help that. And that's literally where the idea for all of this came from. And just hearing him and like actually listening to what is behind our company at our coach summit truly like confirmed for me that I was in the right place, I was doing the right thing, and I was with the right company, regardless of what other companies are out there to do these kinds of things with. Because in my opinion, we genuinely do offer the entire solution. We don't just do workouts. We don't just do fitness. We don't just do Shakeology or supplements. We don't just do groups. We literally do all of it. So with that being said,
well, I think like just to touch on that, like that's what I think is also very different about Beachbody compared to other network marketing companies that you might have heard of, is for the first 10 years, it was truly just a fitness company. They didn't have the coach opportunity, and it kind of came out naturally. So they were putting out these programs, and people were buying DVDs and then not doing them. However, there were always the people who were doing them and getting great results, and people started banding together. Just like I mentioned, like you're getting great results. People were doing P90X and like slaying it, and they wanted just naturally to help other people do the same thing. And so that's how the Beachbody coaching opportunity came about, where they're like, okay, we want to be able to compensate these people who are helping other people and really create, more. And because that's how people are getting results. And that's how these were getting more out, because it comes out through word of mouth more than anything, because they were really successful with their info commercials and everything, but much more it's much more successful when you have accountability, when you have team, when you have communities, especially for what we do as, health and fitness. Like, it's not easy to get yourself so that's, and I think that's really unique about Beachbody. I think it's
Mhm.
really cool that it really came about just really trying to serve the people or their customers, be like, hey, look, we're going to give you like a piece of our pie, like a piece of our cut. And not very many companies do that, right? And like most companies that start off as network marketing start off as network marketing. And so it's just different. And I think that I always think that's really cool.
Yeah, thank you for adding that. I kind of forgot about that part too. So just to summarize what Maddie just said, Beachbody realized that people were not following through with the programs, and they wanted to implement a level of support between the company and like the people at home doing the workouts, which is where the coach opportunity came into play. And again, that was a cut from the company's income to help their customers. Literally reinforces the fact of getting a healthy, fulfilling life, not just making money or being a company.
Yeah. But it's really cool because it's a win-win because,
Exactly.
we're helping people, we're getting like paid to help other people, and then we're also putting the word out. So like Beachbody obviously gets, more successful. So it's all, and with all of that, more good stuff.
Yeah.
I could keep going.
We like to talk. We love
I
our job. Can
know.
you? Yeah. Okay. So a day in life. So basically, Beachbody has four basic. We call them vital behaviors, right? And whenever you decide to be a coach, Maddie and I both, we mentor our coaches and we help you walk through all of this and help you understand it. But these are literally what we take on as non-negotiables every single day. And the reason why is because it's reinforcing our overall wellness and our personal business. And the very first thing is taking care of myself. My number one task in my job every single day is to take care of myself. I can't do that if I stay up, every single night binge watching TV shows, because trust me, if I could, then I probably would. Like, I have to take care of myself. If I am going through some hard things, I can't just ignore it, like, because it impacts the way that I show up. It impacts my overall physical state. It impacts everything in my life. So I have to stop and like sit with my feelings and work through that in the best way that I can. Now, this is just how it has manifested in me. I want to reinforce that too. But your number one job is to take care of you. And that is showing up and doing your workouts. Fueling your body correctly. That doesn't mean that we don't like sweets, because we do, and we do our thing. Everybody does. The second thing is sharing your journey and inspiring others. Maddie and I both, if you follow us both, you know that we do that every single day on social media. And again, when I joined, I said I would never do that, right? Like, I told my coach I would never do that. But what I found a month later is I was in such a better place mentally, and I was happy and I was confident in myself, and I was like feeling strong, that I accidentally did what I said I wasn't going to do and shared workout clips and those kinds of things. So I want you just to remember that. I think that it's easy for people, again, like me, I would sit back and I would scroll Kinsley's stuff and I would look at her Instagram story and I would even read her post, y'all, and I would not even like her post or comment on her post, because I was in such a bad place mentally with myself and didn't think that it was real. Um, and I think people see the way that Maddie and I show up on social media and think like I could never do that. Trust me, I thought the same thing 2 years ago. But again, we mentor you and we help you, and it's literally one step at a time. It's not eating the whole pie. Like, you got to eat the whole pie one bite at a time. Like, you can't eat it all at once. The third thing is showing what you're doing and helping others join you. So helping other people do it and then helping them get results. Now, that doesn't mean your responsibility is to make sure that they make a meal plan and follow their meal plan and make their workouts and do their workouts. Your job is to provide a community, an accountability group, to check in with them, to point them in the direction of the tools if they're struggling with nutrition. Okay, so do you think you would thrive better on a nutrition program that is set up based on portion control and helping you check the boxes to make sure you ate the right thing all day? Or do you think that you would probably eat fewer meals and do better with like understanding how to set up your plate? Okay, great. So if you think this, then you're going to go here and you're going to learn about Ultimate Portion Fix and you're going to follow that program. Here are some meal planning resources that I have that I'm going to share with you, and I will be here to kind of help give you ideas and provide you like support. Same thing with the opposite way. Our job is never to do a client's or a customer's journey for them. Like they have to do it, right? But we do lead by example, and we do provide the accountability, and we do check in with them.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool about Beachbody is like they literally have all the tools and resources. You're just connecting them with that and
Mhm.
sharing what's working for you and showing them the way because you know how to navigate everything. And of course that takes time, but and like in terms of taking care of yourself, like just to echo what Jessica was saying, workouts, nutrition, you're also doing a lot of personal development. And
Oh yeah.
she kind of mentioned that like in her own journey, but like personal development is life changing. If you do those three things, and personal development is like podcasts and books and things that are going to help you become a better person. If you're just doing those three things, you're going to change and you're going to become like Jessica and I are way different people than we were before we started this.
Praise the good Lord for that.
Right, exactly. And so you're going to change, you're going to be more confident, and the business and showing up is going to create more confidence. So unfortunately, you don't just like are born with all the confidence. Like you kind of have to show up and you have to do the work in order to get that. So you have to do the work
Absolutely.
in your own health and fitness in order to get the results. Same thing with your coaching business. You have to show up and do the tasks that are going to push you forward and push you out of your comfort zone. And that's how you gain your confidence. And that's how you become, a better coach.
Pause. Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
So the personal development thing, once I finally said, okay, like I'm going to give coaching a shot. Well, whenever I knew the 4 things I'm supposed to be doing, the personal development one was when I was like, I ain't got time for that. I don't need to do that. And I'm good. And I kept going on with my life. Well, guess what? My business grew up until a certain point. And then I was on a call with my coach and I was venting to her and telling her about things in my life and telling her about all this stuff and like how bad my anxiety was again. And she was like, okay, what's your personal development right now? And I was like, I ain't got one. She was like, that's where we're starting. And it has become a vital part of my day. Like, I no longer feel stuck. I know my resources. I get to pick, I get to decide where I need personal development, where I need help, and then I get to do it. And guess what? If I'm not growing and I'm not doing something, it is totally reflected in my business. Having a business full time as a coach, do you think for one day that I want to sit on my personal development? Absolutely not. But guess what? It's like a fail proof way to make sure that I'm literally becoming a better person every single day, that I'm doing what God has called me to do, that I'm like not sitting on my potential, that I'm truly tapping into my gifts and like using them.
Amen. Okay. And then the final thing is what our team provides. So I've kind of touched up on a lot of these things, but number one, when you get set up with our team, you have weekly team calls and trainings along with the training that is provided by Beachbody. But in our team, we have team calls every week. You also get like a one-on-one calls with your coach. So if you decide to coach and even if you don't have necessarily like a direct coach, maybe you are under someone else, like we're always happy to help anyone within our team, and we'll be
Mhm.
happy to hop on one-on-one calls whenever you want. So whenever you want, like we can personally mentor you in your business. And then there's also group coaching support as well. Like we always have like a thread that we can like talk to and like be there for you because, just like in your fitness journey, you need accountability. It's the same thing with your business journey because the truth is like we are your coach and your mentor, but we're not your boss. We're not going to force you to show up. And so it is on you. And so, but that being said, that is like the freedom of it and the flexibility. That's the good part. But it's on you to be motivated and show up. And it's a lot easier when you have a community and team and mentorship. So that's kind of what
Mhm.
that's about. And you have other girls who are in the same level as you. So it might like when you're looking at a coach like me or Jessica and you're like, oh my God, I can never be like that. But when you're also in that group with other girls who are at the same level as you and you're growing together, it creates camaraderie and it creates it like a lot easier to go through it. And then we have so much like social media training. I know social media is scary for me too. Now it's like one of my favorite parts. I love to express myself. I love connecting with other people and the freedom that you get there and creativity and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of social media training. Social media, just like everything else in our business and in our lives, is something that you get better at over time. The more you do it, the better you get. And it's not scary, like Jessica mentioned, she used to go onto social media to like stalk a guy and like make herself feel like shit. Now she uses social media to help other people feel good because we're literally like, I used to spend the same amount of time on social media as I do now. I just use it for a different purpose. Now, instead of like consuming other people and comparing myself and blah, 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 now I'm using it to create content that feels good for me and that I hope will inspire and feel good for other people. And then endless like resources for accountability groups. So that's the other part as a coach is, like Jessica mentioned, you do run community groups and like accountability groups, but you don't have to create all that stuff. We have so many different templates and things that you can use. You are always more than welcome to have the freedom and creative process to create whatever kind of group you have, whatever makes you feel good or whatever you think that people need. You have that freedom to do that. But if you don't have the creative time or whatever, we have so many templates and things that you can use. So you're never like creating anything from scratch. You're always have that support and help. So yeah, that's basically kind of a little wrap on everything. So now we can turn it around if anyone has any questions. Or comments.
I know Karis has already asked me a question, but do you have any more, Karis or Morgan? About anything?
I don't have any questions, but I want to make a comment on Maddie's shirt. I love the colors.
Oh, thank you. Tie-dye, feeling cool today. No, it's funny, is this is like a long sleeve and I have air conditioning, but it's like 90 degrees outside. I'm like in a long sleeve. But yeah, thank you.
I do want to mention that it's taken me time to learn all the stuff, but the best thing that this has given me is personal development. And it's just been, it's been hard as hell, but a blessing.
Personal development is life-changing in a lot
Yeah,
of ways.
it is.
Like our health and fitness is like personal development in itself.
Yep.
But yeah, actually listening, like you mentioned, listening to podcasts and listening to positivity and listening to like other ways to reframe your mind, life changing.
Absolutely.
And so that is a big part of why I'll never stop coaching, is because just the accountability to take care of myself and do those things every day keeps me on the right track. That like, even if I don't make any money, like I know I'm doing something good that's keeping me positive and healthy and challenging myself all constantly. So, but it is cool that we get paid too. And we had like other trips and perks too. We didn't even go over all of like the trips and perks, but yeah, we get, which technically this past year hasn't really had, but like she mentioned, we have a yearly conference and we have like yearly all expense paid trips, and you win other little like perks and goodies and stuff just for doing your job and doing what you're supposed to be doing, helping other people, which is always really cool. Yeah.
I was gonna say something, then I forgot.
That happens to me all the time. But and then another thing to your point, like it's taking you a while. It took me there's everyone goes at different paces, and there's coaches who out the bag, like, rock their business and go full time really quick. I've been doing this for almost 3 years. And I'm still learning a lot and going slow. And it doesn't actually matter how fast or slow you go. What matters is that you are becoming a better person, that you're helping others along the way and fulfilling whatever your purpose and passion is in this. And the money is going to come along the way, and you'll find your footing, whether that is being a full-time coach or just always a part-time. It doesn't, everyone's journey is going to be a little bit different. So, and as long as like you notice changes, like you just have to kind of let go of what you think success is, and realize that just showing up for yourself is a success every day. And as long as you're staying in alignment with your values and the kind of person you want to be, you are successful every day. And sometimes it is easier because there's going to be, months or weeks where like you're getting a lot of, yeses and you're like, helping so many people and it feels like everything's on top of the world. And then there's going to be some weeks and months where it isn't happening. And so you always have to come back to what it's doing for you and your heart and all that. And know that you're inspiring people every day, even when they don't necessarily are joining you. So, but yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you, ladies, because every time I hop onto this one, that's like I learn something new every time.
Oh,
And this time I needed to hear that. Sorry about the dogs. I needed to hear that, yes, I'm the coach, but it's not my responsibility to get them to do what it is that they're supposed to do. So
that was a lesson that I had to learn a few times. That was kind of hard for me, was like, because the truth is like my coach did not tell me how to go through all of my program materials. I took it upon myself to go through all of that. And like, she just, she led a horse to water and I drank, and I had all the resources. Anyone could do these programs without a coach, without like, but we're there to like help them. We like, okay, where to go for your Beachbody On Demand. There's nutrition resources there. Like you give them like all that stuff and it's up to them to do it. You can't hold their hand. And another thing to also keep in mind is it's not going to be for everyone. People will sign up with you, will quit because it's not necessarily for everyone, and that's fine. That's also something I had to learn not to take personally. Just like rock climbing isn't for me. That's not a daily thing that I want to do. This isn't necessarily for everyone either. So, and that's also fine. Or some people like they start their journey with it and and then they like branch out to new things and move on with their journey. It's not necessarily for everyone for always, and that's okay. And it's not personal to you. And their success or failure in your boot camps and is not necessarily like related to you. Of course, we can hype them up and check on them every week or whatever, but at the end of the day, like, they got to do it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just need to tap on that part too, because it took me a long time to learn that lesson as well. And I still get in little cycles where I'll get like, oh, I'm not a good coach, or like, I'm not doing enough, or like, it's me, but it's not. And I think that's just a natural, like, because we care type of deal. But it's really important to remove yourself emotionally on a personal level from the outcome of anybody else's success, because there's also, you have to remember everybody is in a different season of their life, and not everybody is in a season where they are going to contribute and show up in the way that we want them to. And a lot of women who are still in my accountability group never post, never like anything, do not comment on my Instagram post, do not comment on anything. I don't even know that they're watching until they personally message me and say, I've been going through a really hard time, and I just want to let you know, I know that I've not been doing, I know that I've not been like doing these things. I know that like, I've not really been supportive, but I want you to understand that like everything that you write is for me. Like I read all of this stuff, all of this is helping me, and like all this kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, the people who are meant for you are going to be with you, and the people who are not meant with you, bless and release them. And that's it.
Yeah. I agree.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. And I hope you have a beautiful, let's take a picture. Let me go back to the first page.
Harris had to get off. Sorry. They were trying to get in the house. They had a bunch of kids.
Actually, this says Wednesday.
I know. I noticed that I didn't change anything on this.
I'll go back. Whatever. Is anyone going to notice that it says May? I don't know. We'll just do it. Okay. I'm going to take a boomerang. All right. 1, 2, 3. Cheers. Okay. Well, thanks, ladies.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Oh, and Morgan, if you ever need help or one-on-one support, like you can always reach out to me. I know like Annie is not necessarily like, super into coaching. So if you need like one-on-one support and mentorship, I'm here for you, just so you know.
Okay.
So
Okay, great.
if you ever just want to hop on a one-on-one call and like chat about things, or you need support or whatever, like I'm here for you. So
Okay.
like you're part of my team. So just so you know.
Okay.
Even
Thank you.
like, yeah, even if you're not directly like, reporting to me or whatever, like in the whatever world is, just yeah, I'm